And then there's the way things ended. Oh, my goodness. When Aaron Rodgers had a conversation with the new Aaron in New Jersey, the new HC of the NYJ, Aaron Glenn, and the Jets, send out a statement that they're moving on, and that was in advance of the new league year, and there was some people saying, well, that's just doing Rodgers a favor because tweeting that out or putting out that statement means he's allowed to start talking to teams now and all that sort of business. And he flew out to see the Jets. And therefore, there was a conversation that didn't, go well, I guess. Well, the conversation didn't go well.
No.
As a matter of fact, that's Rodgers' terminology that he used. I'm looking at the feed of Rich Cimini, who covers the team for ESPN. Quote unquote, that wasn't a good conversation, he told Pat about the Jets. And then he went into it. It does appear that Glenn told Rodgers there was no chance of him coming back to the Jets within seconds of them sitting down with each other. And as Rodgers said, he was shocked. Quote, I figured when I flew across the country on my own dime, quote unquote, that there would be a chat. He told Pat that Glenn left the room abruptly, came back with the new general manager, and they told him he was going in a different direction. And he intimated to Pat that this was something he thought that could have been delivered to him over the phone. Oh, my God. He was told, quote unquote, 20 seconds into the meeting.
Seems like that's a phone call.
Or pay for the flight.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't. I'm
sure it was
in first class seat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a chunk of change.
Yep.
But that quote unquote, there wasn't an ample amount of respect in that meeting. Wow. Not, as Cimini wrote, not surprised, he says, based on what he learned about the Jets over 2 years. OMG.
Rich, he said that he had told his pilots, he goes, listen, guys, go get yourself something to eat, get comfortable, maybe get a drink. Might be here for a while. And it wasn't even close to being there for a while.
Why would they make him fly all the way across the country to tell him to his face, you're not welcome here anymore? And if you're putting everything together, right, that the owner wanted to bench him after 4 games last year, right? Why wouldn't you just say, it's clear, just Aaron, stay on the West Coast. We're done here. Why would you make him come all the way across the country to do that sort of thing?
That was his question.
I don't know, to prove a point? What do we... To make sure he doesn't really think that there's any chance? Like, we just want to save you the trouble, Aaron. Certainly since we see, you're out there on the ocean. You got your Snuggie, whatever he's got around him. What's the point of that? Now, listen, I
don't know.
as you know, I thought moving on from Rodgers is the best thing for a new regime, to just basically say it is a new slate. Everything that happened the last 2 years clearly didn't work out. And we're not going to come in here and try and run it back one more time. We're just not. We're not. Because he's got a new way of doing things, and they went ahead and they got a young guy, young Turk, in Justin Fields. I don't mind that at all either. I think that is a smart move. You're paying him $20 million per. That is half the freight of the low end of what you pay a quarterback in his mid-30s now. Just take a look at Geno's contract. And you're saying to your young locker room, we're going to have a contemporary of yours give it a whirl. As a matter of fact, Garrett, you kind of know the kid we're bringing in because you balled out together at college. And hey, Sauce, there's Justin Fields. It makes total sense. That's a smart maneuver. I don't know. The way Rodgers tells it, it's just a head scratch. Like, just tell the guy, like, where it's not working out here anymore. He is clearly not happy the way things ended with the Jets, which is, again, another reason why you sit here and you go, why wouldn't you try one last? Like, let's get one last palate cleanser. You go into Pittsburgh. They'll tell you if things aren't working out to stay home.
Right.
Right? If things work out, you got a new place where you'll never have to pay for a meal again. It might erase what happened. You get to play against the Jets. You get to play against the entire division that you played against your entire career. You get one last Auld Lang Syne run through the NFC North. You're going to be front and center on national television, and it's your last best shot if you want to keep playing, which deep down I think he still wants to do, if I may have the temerity to even think about what he's thinking. But then you hear, I'm 41, I've got a serious relationship, stuff's going on, S is real for a lot of people I care about, and I'm not ready to commit right now. And if they need to go, then go with someone else. Man. Whew. That's the update on Aaron Rodgers.
Crazy.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.